Our greetings. Let me hope everything is okay on your side. Welcome to the station here where we talk about Africa, where we talk about black people, where we talk about humanity, where we talk about anything concerning Africa. My name is Omulangira Kalema, and today I'm humbled to be having, a doctor. I may call him a researcher. Sometimes I prefer calling people philosophers, but I'll actually ask him and request him to introduce himself to you, such that you know the type of person that we're dealing with tonight. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
To the show. You can say hi to the viewers.
Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Kojo Ablode. I come from Ghana. My background is in development strategy, specifically. And the area I focus on in my research is sovereignty. Sovereign asset protection, and asset-based community development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When you talk about Ghana, Ghana, what comes into people's mind, like my mind actually, is the Gold Coast, during that times of slavery. How is Ghana?
Ghana is fine. It's just the same as any other African country because we are all in the same system. Let me just leave it at that because Ghana is just like any other African country.
Okay.
We're all suffering from the same issues. We all have the same dilemmas. We all have the same aspirations. We are not different.
Oh.
Remember, we are first Africans before we became Ghanaians.
Yes. What do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, Ghana was created at the Berlin Conference. Just like any other African, I call them not countries. Just like any other
entity.
Call them countries in quotes, but I call them colonial resource enclaves. They are not countries.
It wasn't there before 1884.
Ghana wasn't there. The Empire of Ghana, the Ghana Empire was there, very powerful empire. And at the Berlin Conference, it was named Gold Coast after the resources they were getting from there. And at independence, Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah renamed the Gold Coast after the mighty Ghana Empire.
Oh.
That was what happened.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's talk about that is Africa, because we're looking at our aim is actually to liberate Africans, first in their minds. What is Africanism?
Thank you. I think that the question of liberation, Africa is a continent where some people naturally come from. And these people are Africans. We are called Africans because we come from Africa. And as a people, we have our own systems, we have our own cultures, we have our own aspirations, and we have everything. And we have been there before the arrival of Europeans into our homeland. And everything was okay. But from the time the Europeans stepped foot on this continent, for a purpose, by the way, things changed. Things began to change. And most of our being African, were taken away in the name of civilization. But it wasn't really civilization, because what's the definition of civilization? You want to open somebody's eyes. To what? It was colonization, not civilization.
Yes.
And colonization is about occupation. It's about dominance. It's about imposing yourself and your values on other people, destroying people's culture, destroying their belief systems, destroying their spirituality. That was what happened. So I don't see anything. I don't know what civilization, that thing called civilization, really means, because it doesn't really make any sense. If you come to my home and take over the control and that I have. You take away my sovereignty and you replace it with something else. Right?
Yeah.
And then you call it civilization. How civilized are we? And what is civilization giving us? The French colonies are still paying the colonial debts to France, you know.
Yes.
But
yes.
thank God some of them have seen the light.
Have resisted.
They are telling France to get out. And I think we have come to the point where we cannot be treated like we were treated at the time of 1884. Or pre-1884 and post-1884 and up to the time of what they call independence. Unless their own definition of independence is not what it means. Because if you say somebody is dependent, it means you survive on some other person.
Yeah.
You get your resources from somewhere else. You are depending on other people for your survival. That is dependence. Now, independence is the opposite of dependence, right?
Yes.
So, if in Ghana, for example, on March the 6th, 1957.
Uganda 9th October.
Uganda 9th of October
1962. Yes.
And like all others, why should we be the ones to have what you call independence? Because we never depended on anybody.
They're depending on us.
They depended on us.
Yeah.
So who should grant who independence? Unless the definition of independence is not what I know. But if it is real independence, by definition, who depended on who?
The whites depend on us, the Africans.
The Europeans, they are not white, unless you are colorblind. Those guys are not white, they are Europeans. You don't describe people by the color of their skin.
Color.
And in your introduction, you said black people. We are not black people. This shirt you're wearing is black. If anybody appears here and the color of the skin of that person is the color of your trouser, we shall run away from here.
Okay, sometimes we call ourselves colored people.
We are not colored.
What about that? Africans.
Yeah, you are described.
No, wait a minute. On that very point, who brought about this color discrimination now? Yeah,
it's purely discrimination. You see, black connotes negativity.
Black connotes negativity.
Yeah.
According to the Europeans, maybe.
According to the European definition, why they call us black is because they want us to feel inferior. And why they call themselves white, and there's this thing called white supremacy, and I'm sure, why should it be white supremacy? And not black supremacy?
Someone's to be on top of
exactly. So if you accept to be called, look, my fellow Africans, we are not black people. We are Africans.
We are Africans.
And never ever accept to be referred to as a black person, because it's demeaning, it's degrading. It's like if you're inferior. So never accept to be called a black person, because you're not black unless you're colorblind. That's the truth.
What makes someone African? Is it a birth? Is it
no, the fact that you come from Africa makes you an African.
So even if you're in Europe, you're an African.
If you're in Australia, we are Africans. There's no African Americans. There are Africans living in America who were forcefully taken from the continent. They are not African Americans. They are Africans.
They're Africans.
Because you can't be two things. You can't be two things. You can only be one thing, because you have one source.
One source.
Yeah.
What about the issue of nationality? You're Ugandan, but you have a nationality of in
you see,
America.
You are now defining this conversation in the context of Europe. The nation states of Africa are not Uganda, Ghana, Congo. No, those are creations of the Berlin Conference.
Then how can we identify ourselves as Africans if we're not going to identify ourselves by countries?
These things are not countries. You see, you go to Europe, what they call countries in Europe, you find out that the Germans come from Germany. They speak German.
Yes.
That's a country in Europe. The French come from France, they speak French. They teach their children in their languages. The Portuguese come from Portugal and they speak Portuguese.
Yes.
That's what they call a country.
That's a country.
Is that what you have?
No.
So why are we calling it a country? These are at the Berlin Conference, these things were created by what they call areas of influence. What happened at the time was they came, they were scattered everywhere, They said they were exploring what I don't know. They
bought
scattered
religion.
themselves everywhere. They got to a point where they started, because we have too much of everything.
Yeah.
Africa is the most resourced, the wealthiest, the richest
Sure.
continent. We have everything by nature, not by grabbing or anything.
By nature.
Now they came and found so much of everything here, to the extent that they started fighting each other. In the Gold Coast has almost half of the total number of slave castles along the West African coast. They started even fighting over these slave castles.
What?
Are you getting me? So when they realized that they started fighting each other because of our resources, what they did was, that was when Otto von Bismarck, the Chancellor of Germany at the time, called the European countries and brought America and said, guys, please, one day, one time, if we are not careful, these guys are going to wake up and ask themselves, why are these guys fighting in our land? And they'll chase us. So let's take our time. Let's look at this place. Who has more influence in this area? Who has more influence in that area? Who has more influence? So they started looking at the spheres, they call them spheres of influence. And they started drawing lines. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And assigning these areas, spheres of influence to those who had more influence in those areas. So if the British were more around here, they say, okay, now this one goes to Britain. Then they get to their next place. They say, even Kenya belongs to this. After drawing the lines, they need to identify them. They never consider, those lines were not drawn because of the African people. Those lines were drawn because of the resources that were there.
Are you calling for...
The things you are calling countries in Africa are resource zones.
Resource zones.
Zones. They zoned the continent up according to resources and shared it among themselves.
Are you calling for the abolition of boundaries now?
We can use them to our advantage, not to allow it to continue to limit us. Why am I saying that? That is what we are, where we are. That is our reality. We need to look at how to use it to our advantage, but not to use it to divide us. Because the purpose of the divisions is not about us. It's about, they were dividing resources. I want that point to be very clear. If you really, really want to translate Africa into what Europe has, then we should have people who come from a particular place and speak the same language as a nation. But that has been distorted. We need to accept that. Now we can use these boundaries to promote our development, but not to restrain us, not to divide us. Yeah, but we should just remove it from our minds.
The same as we're using English.
It's not bad for me to speak the Queen's language when the Queen cannot speak mine. Are you getting me? But we still need an African language. We still need an African language. I want to go back to the issue of the Berlin Conference. After they divided the continent, they had to find names for each of these spheres. Now for Kenya, they were like, what is the name of that mountain? Mount Kenya.
Mount Kenya.
Let's call this place Kenya. When they go to current Ghana, here there's a lot of gold. They even named a town Elmina. Elmina means the mine.
The mine.
Yeah, because they were getting a lot of gold from there, and they found the kingdoms have a lot of gold. The kings use a lot of gold. There were goldsmiths who were mining gold and doing different forms of our traditional jewelry. They named that place Gold Coast. They were getting ivory from Ivory Coast. Let's call this Ivory Coast. That is how these things we call countries were named. So from that day, and remember, like I said earlier, they were not made because of us. They were not created because of us.
Because of the resources.
Because of our resources. And every conversation on this earth, from the individual to the family, to the society, to the village, to the to the tribe, to the society, to the country, to the continent. Every conversation is about resources. Our sovereignty lies in our resources.
When you talk about sovereignty, that is it's more like control.
Exactly. Sovereignty is ownership and control.
Ownership
and control.
So if we had the resources and we still have them, how can we control? How can we say, you know what, this was ours, let it be ours still?
It has never been wars. It has always been ease. These resources are ours.
Ours, yes. But
it has never
but
been.
It seems we are not in control of the resources.
That's where we lose our sovereignty. Sovereignty is simply the absolute power to own and control what you have.
Then what went wrong?
Yeah, they came because of the resources. So they have to give you an educational system that will take your mind away from your resources. So they start teaching you about the Queen of England. They start teaching you about, the European history. You get me?
So that is how we are going to lose the our resources.
We have already lost them.
Tell me, how did we lose those resources? Let's educate an African who is there, so that maybe tomorrow.
How we lost it?
Yes,
we did not lose it. Let me give you a scenario of Europe's coming to Africa. If an armed robber or armed robbers enter your house with guns, and you have no gun to defend yourself, and they tell you lie down, will you stand?
No.
They start picking your television, will you open your mouth?
No.
Yeah, that was what happened. These are robbers. They came here to rob us. So they need to put systems in place to sustain that robbery. Are you getting the point?
So what system we're talking about here?
No, all the systems you see. One is education. They say we're colonized. Yes, we're colonized. The colonization is about invasion, domination, and control. That happened in Africa for hundreds of years, for more than 400 years. Okay.
So how is education being used by these people?
No, so they need to, what do you do? Education is, knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Now, if you have the wrong knowledge, you become powerless.
What do you mean, wrong knowledge?
If I don't teach you anything about I have a system that teaches you about the Canadian prairies, the Tennessee Valley Authority, the Rockies of America, in your prime ages. Your year 1 to year 20, 24, 25. You are in a system that is teaching you about other people and not about yourself and the things you have. And you come out with knowledge about other people, the history of Europe.
Yeah.
Are you getting me? Yes. The Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution. They teach you about that.
Yeah.
And you don't even know what is under the ground where you're walking. In the school, in your education system, you have no idea what you have. You don't know the value of what you have. Yet they are telling you, you give it to us the way it is. Not even give it to us. They are taking them in the very raw form. How many Africans own mines in Africa?
I may say a few, if there are any.
Who cut down our forests? The whole of the continent was forest, except the northern part. How did our forests disappear?
Because they are
in Ghana, they built a whole harbor for timber.
For timber.
Yeah. And they take the logs. And today we are still exporting timber. We are getting sawdust products. Are you getting the point?
Yes, yes.
So, when they created those systems, number one is education.
Education.
Then they brought in religion to subdue your spirituality. Africans are not religious. Africans are spiritual.
What's the difference between being religious and being spiritual?
Religion is man-made.
Religion is man-made?
Yeah.
Then spiritual?
Spirituality is nature.
Inborn?
Yeah, it's nature. It's part of you. Exactly.
So
our ancestors were not religious. They were spiritual. That's why our societies were peaceful. That is why there were no criminals in our societies. We are not spiritual. Spirituality puts you in a compartment. It contains you. Spirituality gives you freedom.
Then religion? Religion
keeps you in a compartment. It contains you. It tells you what to do.
Yeah.
Are you getting the point? And it has no connection with you. We in Africa know that we come from a source. Everybody comes from a family.
Yes.
You come from parents. And those parents come from their parents and their parents and
grand,
their parents
grand,
and their parents.
Yes.
And that is what we call ancestry. And we in Africa know that when you die, you go join your ancestors.
Yeah.
True? Because that's where you come from. You don't come from anywhere else.
Then you come to religion.
You come to religion, they tell you your ancestors are evil.
Yeah.
You know, they are demons.
You're supposed to cast them.
My ancestors are not demons. My ancestors are not evil. At least me, Kojo Ablode, my ancestors are not demons. They are wise men, upright, genuine. They are not liars. They are not crooks. They are not thieves.
You don't have to cast them.
And I don't want to go to heaven because I don't have the evidence of heaven. I want to go to my ancestors.
You mean heaven is not there?
It's not. You tell me where it is. Give me the evidence of.
The heaven is up there.
No, I went to give a talk somewhere, and I said there's no African who is a Christian, and there's no African who is a Muslim, because those things found us here. Religion found Africans in their spirituality. And at the end of the session, a pastor came to me and said, "Yeah, everything you said made sense, but then, what about heaven?" I said, "We shall discuss heaven if you give me proof that there is a place called heaven, not just by imagination or assumption. Yeah, you give proof to me."
That's belief.
What is belief? Belief goes with doubt. Knowledge is power. Just
Sure.
tell me you know. Let me ask you: if the Europeans knew a place called heaven, where milk and honey flows
every day, 24/7,
and all you do is to be singing hallelujah, going around the throne, for me it would be very boring. Yeah, I want to sit around the fireplace with my ancestors and share wisdom, and share in their wisdom, and feed on their wisdom, not to be going around the throne, you know.
They taught us that if you don't believe, then you're not you're a sinner.
Belief comes from doubt. I'm not a sinner.
Belief comes from doubt.
Yeah, belief comes. Yeah, if you doubt something, but if you know something, then you don't need to believe. So I don't believe in anything. I believe in myself.
So you're not blessed because they say they normally have that
No,
quotation.
you forget about what they say. I've told you before we came here. I told you that if you define Africa within the context of Europe, your answer will be wrong. It will never be right.
That's the answer I was looking at.
Yeah.
How do we define ourselves?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Now, you said education, you know.
Yeah, religion
second,
and politics.
religion.
Yeah, those are the three pillars of
And politics.
neo-colonization. Yeah.
How is politics now involved in this?
No, they make laws to keep you in control.
Oh.
Yeah, then they put police. They put the police there to arrest you. They build jails and throw you there.
You mean you never had the police
if you
here?
disobeyed them?
We never had the police?
We had.
Is it
in
European?
our villages?
No, of course in our
typical African communities never had police in uniform looking for who to arrest. Nobody in Africa will raise their children because children belong to the community.
Yeah.
Children don't belong to school systems. Children belong to homes. Everybody in that family is the teacher of that child. Everybody in that village is responsible for the upbringing of the child. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
So you don't find children, African children, growing up to become criminals. They are not there. That's why we never had prisons.
We never had what?
Had prisons in
Sure.
our villages. They were not there. They were not there.
So if someone, for example, did bad, what was...
They will, to begin with, yeah, I'm not saying they were not bad people. There were few outcasts, but they had a way of, normally they banish them. They kick them out of the society
village.
and say, you go and find where to stay. That's what they used to do. Yeah, but to put up an institution and say we are arresting people, we are putting them in court and putting them there, they were not there.
So we have three things here, you know, for the people who control our resources. Now, what can we do? First, with education system, what can we do to make things better for us as Africans?
I just came out of a meeting and I said, look here, you know, you can turn anything into anything. You can turn a bad situation into a good situation. You look for the opportunities in it and turn them to your benefit. Yes, we have the institutions,
Yeah.
which is okay. But they are not working for us. We have the school systems which are not working for us. Why? Because the knowledge we are given has nothing to do with us. I give you an example in Uganda. At the O level, S4,
Yeah.
some subjects are compulsory.
Yeah, sure.
Others are optional. If I tell you that entrepreneurship is optional, does that make sense?
To who?
No.
It
For you
depends,
to
it
write your
depends.
O level,
That entrepreneurship is
it's optional. It's not compulsory.
That means I don't want you to do business. I don't want you to get involved in
Commerce
economics.
is optional,
Yeah.
which is business, trade. ICT is optional. Agriculture is optional. So, what is compulsory?
What is compulsory? Mathematics. They say biology, chemistry.
Yeah.
The sciences actually, they're normally compulsory.
History. No.
History?
Yeah, I think so. Well, you can find out. But the truth of the matter is that for me, in today's system, we need more entrepreneurs than scientists. We need more trade-related business people, where you talk about commerce. We need more people in business than in sciences.
Yeah.
So why are we making those ones more compulsory? And in those three things, you cannot ask questions because they are systems.
What do you mean?
You go to school and they teach you that John Speke discovered the source of the Nile.
Yes.
And you ask the teacher, the Basoga were there before John Speke came, and he spoke to the Basoga who took him to where the river starts flowing from. But they did not know. Now you ask the teacher, what about the Basoga who were there? Why should we not attribute
credit
it
to the Basoga who were there?
To the Basoga who were there. Why should it be John Speke? He discovered it for him. They will chase you from that school. You go to church and ask the pastor. Today I have nothing to eat at home, but you know I've been contributing money for the last 15 years that I've been coming to this church. Can you give me some money to sort out my issues at home? They will call you a rebel. And they will chase you from that church.
Can't work.
You try to question government. Government, you are planning for us. Why don't you involve us in your planning? Why don't you talk to us when you are planning to develop us? At least we also have some ideas. If you are not careful, you end up in jail. You don't ask questions about those neo-colonial arrangements. You don't. You don't.
So when we go back to education, the system here, you know, are we? If we say we can't, for example, ask questions about those colonial systems, but still we have education. We have the schools. We have built schools, universities, colleges. Can't we change what we're teaching?
That's exactly what I'm saying. You see, the challenge that most of our internal institutions have is that the guys who are put in charge are not, they don't have what it takes.
They're trained by the same oppressor.
To do what you are proposing. You go to our ministries and you find technocrats in administrative positions across the continent. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
You find engineers in our works ministries. Engineers are supposed to be in the field. The ministry is a policy-making institution. The ministry is supposed to think about how to move that sector from where it is to the next level. You go to the health sector, you find only doctors who are supposed to be in the wards of the hospital.
Yeah.
You go to even the education sector. Those who design the curriculum, most of them are teachers. They are not strategic people. I told you my background is in strategy. They are not people of strategy. You need people who have studied management, who have studied administration to be in the ministries. not technocrats. So once you put technocrats, how can a doctor manage an institution? He's not a manager. And you find it everywhere. You go to every colonial enclave, you will find the same thing. So that's where the problem is. And remember, they are also products of the same system. And we are still, we are not slamming our brakes, stopping to ask ourselves, why are things not working out for us? We are not doing that.
So if the government is not changing, what about the parent? What about someone who is actually watching right now? You know, what can we do to change?
Let me ask you a very simple question. Everywhere on the continent, we find students graduating, and they end up in the streets. We are crying about youth unemployment. Why is nobody talking about it? Parents are still running around selling their properties and paying school fees. Why?
Well, knowing that their kids won't get jobs.
The vice chancellors, professors, parents, the government, nobody is talking about asking why our children spending 22, 23, 4, 5 years in the school system, and they come out and they end up in the streets. Why is it not a major concern for discussion? Why are we not discussing it? Why are we not talking about it? Why are we all quiet? No, you tell me. You see your first child go to university, come out, and he's in the streets looking for what to do. The knowledge he has no place.
That's what I'm asking. That where can we start from? As if the government, for example, is not working.
You see, I want to share one thing with you. Development is a necessity. I told you my background is in development.
Yes.
Development is a necessity. Everybody needs to develop as an individual, as a family, as a society. What is the formula for development? Simple. You use what you have.
What you have to get
what you want. But we are not thinking about what we have. How many Ugandans know? Go and ask any 10 Ugandans. What resources do we have? That's where sovereignty. As a country. I'm sure they cannot give you 5.
We used to study.
And what they teach you in
class.
No, you don't study about them. Studying about something means in-depth knowledge, getting in-depth knowledge about it.
So it was just identifying them.
Yeah, you just learn their names and where they occur. They ask you where is iron ore in Uganda. You say in Sukulu, Manafwa area, Kabale. Yeah, finished. You get 10 over 10. But what iron ore is, what its value is, what it is used for, how many jobs it can create, you know, you don't know that. Uganda has a lot of gold, right? How many people know about gold? From school. From school.
From school?
Yeah.
A few of them.
0. We have rare minerals. How many people know about it? We talk about tourism. Do we really know what it is? The potentials are massive. But who is teaching tourism?
Doctor, take it slow. Take it slow. Because I want to get this, and I want also the viewers to get this. You said, for example, in when you have the minerals, we are changing now the education system. They tell me, they teach me in the class that we have gold, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't even know where the gold is. I've never touched gold. So what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
Nothing. What will you do if you are ignorant?
No.
What will you do with ignorance? You don't know. So
what am I supposed to do then?
What you don't know doesn't give you any value.
No, the reason why you're here, your liberty. No, your liberty in gas.
The point is this: whatever you have, if you don't know it, it becomes useless to you. It has no use.
So the first step is knowing.
Knowledge is everything.
What we have.
Knowledge is everything.
Okay.
Knowledge is everything. Yeah. Everything is about knowledge. Don't look for anything else. What we carry on our mind as knowledge is the most important thing. Not just human beings walking around. What do we know about ourselves? What do we know about our environment? I was in a meeting recently, I think just last week, and I said, look here, you forget about Adam Smith's theories of economics in the 1700s. Where he said the factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, right? Or an entrepreneur. I, based on my technical positioning as a development strategist, I say the factors of production are 2. I'm even contemplating reducing it to 1.
What is that?
Knowledge and the environment.
Knowledge and environment.
And the environment. Yeah. It's just knowledge. The real factor of production
Is knowledge.
is knowledge. Knowledge of what? Of who you are in your environment. And that's what you need to develop. Now you don't even know who you are. You don't know anything about your environment. You don't know anything about yourself. You don't know anything about your environment. You are just there, morning to morning, day to day, week to week, year to year. You have no idea who you are. Our women are struggling to be Europeans. They go and put chemicals they can't put in their mouth, in their hair. They bleach their skins because they want to look like Europeans. We have lost our standards. We have lost everything. We have no knowledge. We don't know anything. Even when people are suppressing us, we don't know. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
That is why I told you that if we begin to define Africa within the context of Europe, we'll never get it right. We are Africans. And who is an African? That one who knows is an African is an African. Everybody comes from Africa, is an African.
Yeah.
But we have lost the knowledge of the fact that we are Africans, first and foremost.
Now, let's focus now on the resources. Let's get back to the resources. For example, Uganda, we have iron ore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's good you said you may ask like a few Ugandans, you know, where that iron ore is, and they don't know.
Yeah. We don't even know what it is.
Where is it, by the way? Where is it?
We have iron ore in Kabale.
In Kabale?
Yeah, we have iron in Manafwa, that area, Tororo to Manafwa, there's iron ore there. And then I think there's one other place. I hear there's some iron ore also around Masaka area there.
So if I know that we have iron ore, what would be the next thing to do? Knowing what iron ore
Not
does?
just to know that you have iron ore and it's in this place and that place, for which they give you 10/10. That is not the knowledge you need. The value.
The value.
The value of the iron ore. You know we have a lot of freshwater bodies. Almost 35% of Uganda is freshwater bodies.
Yes. That one I know.
Do you know the value of those water bodies?
The values of water bodies?
The value.
Like
the economic value.
Economic value.
Of freshwater bodies. Do you know the economic value of iron ore? Do you know how much iron ore is in that building behind us?
No.
Do you know how much we can do with iron ore? All rail tracks, ships, you know, equipment, machinery that are built on this earth comes from iron ore.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. In construction.
Construction.
Bridges.
All depend on iron ore.
Yeah, we use iron ore. All the iron you see, all metal, those metals you see, not all of them are iron ore, but most of the construction materials that you see, iron bar, angles, all of that comes from iron ore. Steel comes from iron ore. You know, and stainless steel, all of that comes from iron.
From iron ore.
Yeah, and then you have a deposit. Interestingly, I went to Manafwa. Every piece of stone you find on the ground is iron ore, and their iron ore is magnetic.
What?
And I went with a magnet. I went to the Boro pit where they took maram from, soil from, to fill the road for paving, for tamaking. I threw my magnet into iron ore.
Do they know that they have this resource?
They know there are stones. Yeah, I sat with them in the village. People don't even care because they don't see any value in it.
They're seated on richness, which they don't know. Wow.
And I hear there are 2 Chinese in a Ugandan court, you know, fighting over that.
Fighting over what?
Yeah, rubbish.
And the
see owners, how ignorant.
The owners.
No, the people who sleep on it, not the owners. The people who sleep, whose land it is, which contains that iron ore, have no idea what it is.
They don't know the value.
No.
Of iron ore.
They don't know what it is first. For them, it's a piece of stone.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how bad it is when it comes to the issue of knowledge. Now, if you don't know that you have what you have, what you are working on, the stones you are using to do whatever you want, has this value, how are you going to develop?
You can't, of course.
Why are they not teaching the people in this? Yes, we have schools. Why are we not teaching the children of Manafua about iron?
About iron ore.
Because that's what they have.
Wow.
Why are we not teaching people who live around the freshwater bodies about the freshwater bodies? Why are we not teaching people who come from the forests about tourism? Why are we not teaching people about what they have? Who says that our educational system should be something that should go across board? You must teach people about what you have.
About what you have.
If you want to develop.
Wow. That's education.
Yeah, education. What is the purpose? In my university, my second year, my first degree, English was compulsory for us in my faculty, in my college, and you have to study English for 4 semesters. And our English lecturer was a British woman, an English woman. At the end of the 4th semester in our examinations, she gave us only one question. And I will never forget. Even if I die today, I won't forget.
What was
Wherever
that?
I go, I'll go with it.
What was that?
One question only. What is the essence of education?
What is the essence of education?
Yeah, exactly.
That was the question.
That was the question. And I will never, ever forget that question. And it was only one question. You don't have any other alternative. It's the same thing you and I are talking about. Why education?
Why education?
Why should we go to school? And you know, after exams, when you come back, they bring back the lecturers with the questions and you go through it, discuss it, understand why you scored this or that. And they tell you what they were expecting. So when we went for that assessment of our English language examinations, she told us the purpose of it, the essence of education is to acquire knowledge. And knowledge that will transform you and the society in which you live. Okay?
Yes, yes.
If you acquire knowledge and the knowledge is not able to transform you and transform the society in which you live,
It's not education.
that is not the essence of education.
Where can we, at what level can we start from?
Now, I just came out of a very big meeting last week, and we were talking about economic development. So I said, fine. For me, the number one factor of production is knowledge. And the second one is the environment. Not the one of Adam Smith. I'm not there. That worked at that time. But things have changed.
Yeah.
And we need to change. So, if we really want to generate, create, develop the right knowledge, principle number one, we must teach people about what they have, not to design education across board. What it means, I said it in that meeting, that one, let Ministry of Education across the continent focus on primary education.
Primary education.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in that primary education system, the curriculum should focus on the resources that we have. Let's teach our children that we have gold. You guys, you know gold? This is what it looks like. This is its value. The countries use gold to back their currency.
Yeah.
Gold is very expensive, and we have this quantity located in these places. Guys, children, Uganda is not poor. Uganda has iron ore. And iron ore occurs in these places. These are the things you can do with iron ore. This is how much money you can make from iron ore.
Okay. Okay.
You go to tourism. You go to this copper cobalt area in Kasese. You teach our children about the things that we have, the resources that we have in primary school. By the time in Uganda they are leaving primary 7, going to secondary school, Ministry of Education stops there. Now, the specific, I do strategy, and I'm very disruptive. I don't follow the crowd. I'm a disruptive thinker. I don't follow the crowd. I don't just accept anything. Ministry of Agriculture should have their own secondary schools.
Right?
In areas where we have potentials for agriculture.
Come again?
After primary school, the ministries that are implementing the development plans should have their own secondary schools up to PhD, because they know the challenges and the needs that we have. Are you getting?
Oh, yes.
So they will design curricula for their school system to produce the knowledge that we need for agriculture.
Okay.
Tourism will produce the knowledge that we need for tourism. Are we together?
Yes.
Works, who trains engineers, they know the needs that we have. They know how many engineers we need. They set up their own school system up to PhD and create their own curriculum according to our needs and our desired goals, the things we want, how we want to be, and train people specifically for these areas. Remember, if you enter a secondary school run by Ministry of Works, where they teach engineering, as you go, it's engineering at the start point. But as you go, it branches. There are very many branches of engineering, all the way to aeronautics and all that. So people will begin to branch off from S1, maybe after O level. People will branch off to, people will branch off into other areas.
Different areas, yeah.
And then they specialize. That is the kind of manpower development plan we should have. Not following, putting all people together and teaching them the same things, and they come out and they can't do anything.
That is education now. I'm with Dr. Kojo here. Now, what about religion? Because religion, yes, we need to let people know where we're heading and where we are right now. People are praying every day for the miracles to happen. People are praying for riches, for richness. People are praying for life, to be healthy. Is our prayers taking us anywhere?
Let me share something very interesting with you. Europeans brought Christianity to Africa, but they have stopped going to church.
The Europeans?
Yeah.
Why?
Their churches are empty.
Why?
They have stopped. It's not relevant anymore. So we have turned them into drinking bars and entertainment circuits and entertainment centers.
The Europeans?
Yeah. They are no more going to church. You can look for it online.
So,
so there's nothing to discuss about religion.
So whatever you're praying,
there's no Africans are not religious. Africans are spiritual.
No, but we're building beautiful churches around the country.
Yeah, it's
in fact, in Africa, you look at,
even in Ghana, I hear
wonderful churches.
In Ghana, I hear they want to put up a national cathedral. The guys who brought you religion are bringing you homosexuality. Why are you refusing to accept that one? The same people who brought you religion are the ones bringing you homosexuality.
Yeah.
Why are you refusing to accept that one? No, bottom line, they have stopped going to church. They have turned their churches into entertainment centers. On a serious note, to entertainment centers, they have turned their churches into drinking bars, family gathering places, like going to a national park. Yeah, that's what they have become. It is Africans who are preaching the gospel of Jesus in Europe now.
Can we say that Africans are still are the ones on the right path?
Which right path?
Because when the Europeans
what do you call the right path?
No, I mean the Europeans brought the religion, which they said was good.
They said?
Yes.
Why have they left it?
We don't know. We can't tell why they
because
left
it's not working for them.
For them?
Yeah.
Maybe it's working for Africans.
How can it work for you when the person who invented the thing has abandoned it? Africans are spiritual. I'm saying it again. We are not religious. Religion is man-made. There's no African who is a Christian. Christianity found the African in Africa. There's no African who is a Muslim. Religion is just culture. It's the perception of God and how to relate with God. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Human beings are spiritual. We are spiritual beings. We are part of nature.
If it's culture, can't you develop it? Can't you develop culture and then you say, you know what? I've been
No,
thinking about this culture.
you develop what you have, not what you went and somebody brought to you. You develop what you have, not what somebody brought.
You mean, for example, the building of wonderful mosques is internal development?
You think a mosque, what is it giving you in terms of development? You are poor, you are broke, and you have a mosque. What does it mean?
I'm securing my place in heaven.
Yeah, proof of heaven.
Proof of heaven.
Yeah, prove to me that there's a place called heaven.
The
If the
Bible.
Europeans knew that there's a place called heaven, it's so beautiful, has milk and honey, it's flowing there. Why is it that all the religions don't describe heaven the same way?
Blessed are those who believe without seeing.
Yeah, belief comes with doubt. Belief is not an assurance.
Do you know that verse?
Yeah, I know everything. I read the Bible 3 times, cover to cover. I read the Quran cover to cover because I really wanted to find out what religion is. But I realized there's nothing to do with that. Religion is just Islam is a part of the culture of the Arabs. Christianity, even them, how many divisions of Christianity do we have? It's
So
just
many.
religion is purely culture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
And our spirituality is a part of our culture.
Okay. Now let's turn to politics before we conclude. To politics. You said politics is another.
The third arm, the third leg of neo-colonialism.
Yes. How is that? How is that?
Politics takes away your freedom and resets you.
Reset.
It resets you.
What do you mean?
You are expected to follow a certain set of rules,
Yeah.
which are not your own, which is not your own set of rules. And
Set
if
up
you
by
break
someone.
them, if you break them, they punish you. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, if these things were working for us, why are we still the way we are? Why are we still in this poverty?
So are you saying we get out of politics? Where can we go without politics?
No. Listen to me. Rulership, leadership is not politics. It's not politics. Do you know how dirty politics is?
Dirty politics.
Do you know what you need to become a politician?
Of course, you need the money. For the case of Uganda, you need money.
Not just Uganda. You look at the whole continent. It's not different anywhere.
Hey.
No, it's not.
So you have money, then you can become a politician.
Sure. Not knowledge.
Not really.
So how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, we've seen people who actually they're voting in power. They go and they do nothing. They keep quiet and.
What is the
vote it
purpose
back.
of voting?
Eh?
What's the purpose of voting?
You exercise-
Giving your power to make decisions to somebody
Yeah.
to go and represent you. Do they really represent their people?
They do. Some do.
Sure. Then why are we not developing? What do you call representation, by the way? If
Of
you are
course.
representing me, you must go and say what I ask you to go and
Yes.
say.
Yes.
But do they do that?
No, they don't.
Yeah, so then where is the representation? Maybe it's because we're having this conversation in a different language. Definitions might become a problem. You get me? Representation means you come, we all meet, we sit down with you, we tell you what we want you to go and say.
Then you
go
grant-
and say that.
Yeah.
You see, the people I represent say this. True?
Yes.
Yeah. But if you
So
go there and you
We
start
have been on the wrong
fighting-
side since independence.
We have not. We are supposed to grant Europe independence, not them granting us independence.
All the time we are voting for these members of parliament,
Yeah.
we're doing nothing.
Zero. Why are things not changing?
That's a big question. That's a big question.
Why are things not changing? Our business is to vote and go back and sleep. We can change it. We can improve it. We can make it work for us.
How?
By making, number one, making sure that the people who are voting for their representatives have the knowledge.
The empowered.
They must be knowledgeable. in that whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting me?
So
You must be knowledgeable. Why should I vote for you?
because I'm going to represent you.
Just that.
Yes.
Because I want to develop. I want to move from where I am in my life to a better situation, and to a better situation, and to a better situation.
So if the 5
Because
years,
the decisions of development are made in that assembly. You get me? So
Yes,
if you are
yes.
going to represent me in that assembly, my concern is how will your representation improve my life?
Oh,
Are you getting my
yeah,
point?
yeah.
That is the reason why I should vote for you. Now, if I vote for you and I've not seen any improvement in my life, why should I vote for you again?
So you should wait for after every five years. You know, we analyze. You know,
Yeah.
we look at the 5 years. What have you done for us?
No, I was in my village when the MP came back. I happened to be home, and the MP at the time, member of parliament at the time, came to campaign. I got up and I told her, look here, before you tell us anything, you account for the votes we gave you.
Accountability.
Yeah, just tell us what you did with our votes. Then you can tell us what you are going to do.
Wow.
For the next set of votes. And she failed to tell us what she did because there was nothing to show. Yeah, and we are not knowledgeable enough that those are representatives and we must hold them accountable.
Accountable, yeah, yes.
The day we can start holding our representatives accountable for our votes, things will change. But they don't want to get you to the population to get there. Yeah. If an MP comes to your village and says, give me your vote, say, fine, my vote is my power. My vote, the purpose of my vote is to develop, to improve my conditions. Now, the last one I gave you, please account for it.
Account for it, yeah. Then it goes for 5 years.
How many times did you come to me and ask me what to go and say? What my concerns are? You never did. And when you choose to do what you wanted, what have you brought? Nothing to show. Then why should I give you my vote again?
Get out of my face.
Yeah.
Dr. Kojo.
Yeah.
Your not your final word, but of course your word of encouragement to all Africans who are watching right now.
I would want to say that, look here, nature has given us the best of everything. We should be the ones walking everywhere with our shoulders very high. We are the wealthiest continent. We have so much resources, and we need to know that. Knowledge is power, and power changes things. The day we wake up to the fact that we are not what we are told we are, the day we wake up and know that the volume of resources, the diverse resources that we have, are the source of our sovereignty. And for us to be sovereign, we need to absolutely own and control what we have and use what we have. Plan. When we wake up in the morning, we must be thinking about our resources. When we go to our offices and we are thinking, we must be thinking about our resources, human and the environment, the resources in the environment. When we say the human resource, we are talking about knowledge, not the human being, but what knowledge that human being is carrying. Then in the environment, what do we have? When we are taking any actions, we must be taking actions around our resources. The Europeans, the Chinese, the Arabs, everybody who is coming to Africa is not coming to Africa because of the African people. We need to protect our resources. We need to guard them jealously. We need to do everything, everything under the sun to make sure that we don't lose our resources to anyone under any condition.
Wow.
Once we are able to do that and we take charge and control, everybody comes from somewhere. Whatever you have, where you come from, is yours. You can't go to China and say, give me land, and they give you land. No. They won't give it to you. It's not yours. It's theirs. The only reason they won't give it to you is because they know it is not yours. It is theirs.
Wow.
And they know the value. You won't go to Europe and say, Europeans, I'm from Africa, I'm a very big person, give me land. They will never give it to you. So Africans should stop giving the land to anyone and everyone, anyhow.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes, yes.
Africans can become investors wherever if we can focus on our resources and develop them.
Okay. Okay.
You go to Dubai and you find very many foreigners. The population of Dubai is about, I think, about 2 million people or something. About 80% are foreigners, all looking for work. But Dubai has nothing, no resources. They have the desert, they have a small bit of ocean, and they have, what else do they have? Tell me what they have. And they have oil.
They have sand and oil.
They have oil, sand, stones, oil, the ocean, finished. But a lot of people are going to Dubai to look for what to do. But with what Africa has, recently it's online, a former French minister of whatever, said if Macron doesn't stop the French colonies from what they are doing in the Sahel region, if they don't stop all of them, their children will come to Africa to look for livelihood. And I agree with him. And we are not going to stop. We will not stop. If I can't put a military base in your country,
yes,
then you can't put it in
Why
mine.
do you put yours in mine? Okay.
Are you getting the point? No, because we are human beings. You are not better than me in any way. Even in the classroom, we beat them. Are you getting the point?
Yeah,
They are not smarter than us. But why should you put a military base in my land if I cannot put it in your land? Why are they interested in these things? Because of our resources.
They say they are here to keep peace, security in the Sahel.
So for me, I think that time has come. We have gone beyond the effects of the Berlin Conference. We have gone beyond colonization. We need to say enough is enough. We need to be in charge of our resources.
I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is Dr. Kojo. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, we are not responsible for your miseducation, but we are responsible for your mental liberation. My name is Omulangira Kalema. See you when you see us.